Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I think we're on a crazy casting streak today, but regardless of the fact, we're back with some SSL. I mean, the earlier matchups in the week were a little bit disappointing, so today we're going to bring you a little bit of a better one. Hopefully it doesn't end up 7-3 or 7-1, because that's the previous scorelines we got, but Cafe, first and foremost, and it'll be the only map played tonight, and let's take a look. So much to do on this map, specifically when you need to play like a team, specifically when you need to get your attacks right the first time around. There is no effort, there is no room for a singular mistake to go down, because this is going to be a best out of one. We're still in the group stages, so you guys are going to need to be able to grab your points where you can. And right now, 619, they've been on a little bit of a streak. Yesterday, they had a team forfeit and they took their easy points in the Champions League. And today, they look to continue that streak with lots of coordination and with lots of practice. The way they managed to turn around yesterday's game before we eventually came to a halt, a pause, a rehost, and then a forfeit, it's very possible to see some beautiful lineups today. Double OG Redemption. Haven't seen them play in a while. Haven't seen them play at all, actually. And I'm excited to cast. Maybe attacking first. This is going to be a revelation of some sorts. Watching them trying to attack. Watching them try to destroy the attacker's side. And hopefully they'll be able to tear it up. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. They'll take us, ladies and gentlemen, to that second floor site first. Let's see how they'll play it out. Taking a look at the defensive bands here, they will be taking care of Azami and Mira on the board. Now, having those two operators taken care of is going to allow the defenders that, or is going to force the defenders, not allow, it's going to force them to play a lot more passively. They're going to have to relax. They're going to have to reset every single time, because now you don't have the comfort of being able to relax and play off of your own black mirrors. You don't have the comfort of restructuring the map with those Kiba barriers from the Azami. So I'm interested to see how this site setup will go. Bathroom Metals, the default customary when you don't have these two operators, and Deep Freezer is going to be double reinforced, surprisingly. Crits trying to get lucky out in a spawn peek, but all he'll do is lose his health, but he'll have a Doxstim waiting for him. Scat, though, 50 HP, and no Doxstim will be waiting for him. Looking to get lucky off the window. I mean, not a lot of people know about this peak, and it's all about passion and patience, and the two P's pay off, as that'll be first blood in this game. 619 loses a body, and Bobby will go down. No reactivating or deactivating any of these F-Nots for the rest of the round. No boots on the ground quite yet, as they take their sweet old time to address the pressure from Cigar. Still a roamer just lurking, waiting to make the right play, while all the other attackers are going to set up for a head-on play. External play ×2. That's 2 kills now off of Windows. Sprays to find his first. That'll be 2 kills for the attackers before 619 find a response. Pallets unaddressed. You guys need to be careful of these windows before these attackers pull up the pressure. It's going to become inevitable, the fact that they are coming knocking and you still have no response. Gitjitsu trying to take his time, but honestly, too much time has been taken as Sprace has found 2 off of this one window, and Nullify will be left all by himself to try to address Cigar. There you go, defenders opening it up on the board for themselves. 2, as Nullify and Kit are now locked in. They're dialed, addressing and relieving some of that pressure from either side here. No more external plays from those cocktail windows, now leaving all of the pressure to come head on. Ticket, the next point of entry. Kijitsu now taking that mandatory position to be able to hold down that Deep Freezer and the Cigar chop close. Drone doesn't catch him quite yet, but Nomad is probably going to be weary of the certain area, and all Nullify has to worry about is the hallway. You need to be careful when these attackers begin to wrap around the hallway. Bilo making first play, but will fall. You tried to get proactive, but you're just gonna allow Kijitsu to pop off. And before he's taken out, 3 bodies drop alongside with that MP5 in his hands. 35 seconds left from a 4v2 to a 1v1. The clock ticks down, and now it's a game where it's in Nullify's favor. You have the health, you have impact grenades, and most importantly, the time's in your hands. Just continue to run out the clock. Continue to play Ring Around the Rosie, but no, you're just gonna swing and win the gunfight. Nullify rises to the call and destroys anybody who walks into his path, and that's a beautiful play out there by the Goyo and the Doc, both going out swinging, and they both took care of business, and 619 can claim themselves victors for that first round. Next up on the chopping block, they will be playing out Bakery. And finally, every time I be casting this basement site, it usually is seen with no castle, especially on console. They'll prioritize an aggressive operator that ends up getting themselves killed, but anytime I don't see a castle, I'm expecting some freezer extension. But if you don't, if you opt out of that freezer extension, it's alright to sit back, relax, and just set up the site with the castle. And that's exactly what it's going to look like. And hopefully they're going to reinforce freezer. I mean, at least some of it. Feed holes may be intact, but nope, Chris will opt out of that as well. And now the site will look pretty uniform and pretty default. Question is, who will be able to find first blood? OG Redemption threw away a 3-man lead, and that's a problem, because once you let it be a 2v5 and the attackers have drones. They have the utility to be able to execute, and you guys try to get aggressive by just flying into the freezer, it becomes a problem when you lose those rounds. Hopefully, we won't have a repetition of that round. Different site, different day, and a different memory as Goyo looks to make that narrative true. Trying to find first blood for his team at 619. We're playing constant recovery and a complete blunder by Nullify. You're trying to play Pokemon, but Squirt is alive to see another day. And if he punishes you for that, it's only in your hands. It's only going to be your fault as you've dealt the damage needed, but you've been gifted a free kill and you've tossed it out the window and called it game. Chris falls first, and that's the first pick for the attackers. Could have been a different narrative, but make it 2 as Sprays will take care of Bobby and will advance pretty fast throughout the VIP area while the attackers behind him advance out to try to open up the walls. Big blunder by the defenders. Now, what are you going to do to be able to address it? We saw a similar situation last round, and they even have access to your Valkyrie cameras. The clock continues to tick down. We're at the 90-second mark, and the attackers continue to find responses, but hopefully they're able to close it out. Nullify making drama and life repeat itself 2 times in a row as he'll find the first pick after 2 bodies dropped for his team, but Stim will not be in your cards. Doc shot in the face before he can do his job and duty. Gladiator. Golder or Gladiator? I don't know. That'll be Sprays to take care of business alongside with his team. And finally, Redemption find their first. No tossing of sorts this time. They're not playing straight to the money, straight to the site, and they took care of business. That'll be 1 leveled as now both sides have managed to get a feel for the water and how are they going to move forward on. The question is, who can adapt faster? And we always speak about how each team plays individually. Sometimes you need to have an individual clutch factor, but the other times you need to play as a team, as this is a team FPS. Right now, Redemption addressed the site, found it first, and they worked their way from top to bottom. Biggest problem for them was not droning a guy below the hatch. If it was anybody else on any other weapon, that would have been first blood in the favor of 619, but that blunder really just set them up, and they found it, and they just hopped on that opportunity. The question is, what are they going to do now to be able to build upon that? Clock now has started to tick down. Same sight in our hands, and let's see if the attackers can just do the same thing twice. Top to down has been working for them so far. They've been taking their sweet old time, and it has been working out. It's all about the patience, really, and that's exactly what they're showing us. The first round, they rushed everything, and it didn't go in their favor. They just felt like dominoes in that bakery round. They took so much time that the defenders played directly into their hands and gave them a free round. Nullify taking care of 1 shock drone, but he is going to be located. Last time it was Chris to get first picked out on Vigil. Can you change that story? You need to be able to find a first kill before your team reinvents the same narrative we've seen for the last 2 rounds. You guys have both rounds found yourselves in a 5v3 situation within the 1 minute 30 mark, and that's a problem. Nullify changes the narrative, but gets quickly refragged out. Ash, right on the opportunity, takes care of Nullify, but Sprays will go down in the meantime. Twitch for Vigil, and now it all calms down as 90 seconds approach. Looking to clear a non-existent roamer as they are not going to sacrifice 2 bodies on the verticality this time. Looks like they're going to take things a little bit more slow, but you still don't have a castle. I mean, you haven't managed to prioritize anything. If you don't bring a castle, it's still the safer bet to be able to place a deployable shield and freezer and hold it, because then you can play off of Christmas in VIP without having to worry. But now you're going to have to play aggressive off of Whiskey and Coat to try to stop the pressure leading, especially when those barricades remain intact. A minute left. The attackers still droning out. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. Now getting the breach. Now taking their time. Vulcan's popping as well. Means they will have to deal with a surprise firebolt in their hands later in the round. 1 popped already, and the other 2 in prep means there's only 1 more potential Vulcan that could disrupt this execute. 48 seconds. They continue to try to get aggressive. Kitchitsu not being able to capitalize, not eating the flash, and Bobby's there to reel it back in for his team. 3v4, 619, reclaim the lead now. Just a game of run the clock down. Doc, I don't know where you are, what you're doing, but it doesn't matter. Your team has it all in business as joy is being found all across the board. 2v4, and they have yet to find a response. Redemption, where are you guys? What are you doing? One man is just sitting on the coat check railing. He's not going to move off of this bench. Squirt, I think Squirt knows this. They continue to play time, and Warden shotgun barrels seed, but he's gonna switch right over to the SMG-12 and get aggressive. 9 seconds. He's saying screw it, why not? Looking to get aggressive, but Squirt finds one. Quickly shot out again, and Warden, almost lethal, is with the SMG-12 and cannot find the shotgun, but Kitchitsu reels it back in, and that'll be a round for 619, despite losing the last bakery hold. 2-1 as they grow their advantage to just 1 round, and they have 3 more rounds on the defensive. It's been 3 rounds since they've played up here, where the heroics of 2 players saved them the embarrassment of getting absolutely swept upstairs. They'll head right back on to the bar and cocktail site. Now, it looks like they're bringing the castle for the external play because it was 3 bodies that had dropped from the cocktail and cigar windows only 45 seconds into the round. They can change that narrative. Just imagine what they can do. They won it. Even being down 3 bodies, they managed to reel it back in, and their aggression got the better of them, and they won. Imagine what they can do when they have full force, and they're still playing aggressive. I think it'll give them a very, very good narrative to be able to execute upon, and showing us what they have in store for us. Claiming that lead, again, shows us that they have what is required to win. They look like they're already preparing sprays. Allows themselves to open up these barricades easily. Sometimes you bring an Ash, and sometimes you bring the Striker. Frag grenades open up these windows without the risk of getting C4'd, and the Claymore's assist as well. Very, very well used operator on external play. The shotgun as well for the destruction. There's just so much Striker can do when you want an operator that has the neutral utility. As things stand, we're a minute in. No boots on the ground quite yet, and they're all just getting the fundamentals done. Going down box by box, ticking everything off, the drones being used, the utility being used, and now eventually setting themselves up for an execute. 1 man, make it 2 men who remain close quarters to this cocktail window, who are most likely going to get into the first engagement of the round. Switches up. First Ash Breach will miss the deployable shield, making it a problem for anybody who swings into it, unknowing of the still standing shield. 90 seconds left on the clock, and all 10 bodies remain up. But the question is, who will be there to be able to execute? Continues to just run on down. And now it's all about who has the factor of being able to find first blood. 619's only been able to do it 1 out of the 3 rounds that have been played, but they'll continue with that narrative as that prophecy's fulfilled. That'll be the third time they'll have a 5v3 on their hands without finding any response within 2 minutes of the round. Nullify reels it back in. I feel like I'm watching a broken record as this has continued to happen round after round. 4v2 as Nullify gets taken care of, and now he's low. Was low. Stim hit him, and now they have advanced throughout the site, and they're looking to take care of this castle. Meets his Maker spray goes down, and that'll be a double kill for Squirt and Below to find 2 bodies in the dying seconds of the round, and that'll be round 4 redemption. Becomes a problem. I mean, the same thing has happened round after round. 5v3 in a minute. Broken record on repeat, consistently the same narrative. they'll head on over to the same site. Second last time they'll have to defend, meaning it'll be 3 rounds since they've last defended downstairs bakery and kitchen, so they might be allowed to rerun it before they head on to the attacking side. 619 not looking too awake here. They are missing a player. Nullify is standing in for Meshed, not seen. Shady also isn't a regular player. No Ducky and no Meshed, and maybe that's the reason why we're seeing this at level, but still, both sides need to be able to play as a team because we're only seeing some form of teamwork, and it only goes in the favor of Redemption. They've been showing us some interesting plays, but it's been working. External play, drone, and then work on everything that's needed. The only thing that I can say has been a problem for them is the executes when it gets closer to the dying stages of the round, but that's been quickly addressed. We saw last round, they were in the site taking their sweet old time to use their utility even with a minute left. Same window play yet again. Shady looking to get lucky. If he hears that upside down repel, it'll be boom boom for anybody who walks into his hairs. A little bit preliminary. I mean, you didn't even hear anybody on the repel, and that will be a waste of a C4. And, you know, Spray left again just to do whatever the hell he wants. We'll go right back up on the window, and we'll find first blood. You're holding the pixel, and you still found the kill too for Spray. But finally, Kitjitsu smarter than that. He knows this rotate possibly can't be Claymored off. And there you go. That's a refrag. But now you've lost 2 bodies. And again, for the 14,000th time, for however many times we've seen this, it's a 5v3 and quickly refrag to make it a 4v3. You've still lost the utility from the 2 players that fall. You've lost their gun. You've lost their presence. And now the phantom pressure in from the amount of areas they can open up. For every man advantage they're going to continue to hold, it becomes a problem. Kitjitsu, the only one who looks awake right now, currently 6-3, has managed to keep his team alive of some sort, but now he needs to be able to address this round because allowing Redemption to take this round sets them up for the momentum to be able to make it a 4-2 split. Squirt capitalizing, headshot to take care of Bobby, leaving it in a 3v2 situation, but it's Chris to reel it back in, down and with no chance of a stim. Kit has to drop the hatch to be able to mandatory reset himself. Stim will connect, but now you've become the attacker. The clock is now against you, and the question is, what do you have for that? And the answer for that is head, shoulders, knees, and toes with that aim. You've been doing so well, but in those moments, you have to rise, but he will fall and crumble to the pressure of the R4C in the hands of Squirt. And 3-2 is going to be the scoreline on the last defensive round for 619. They'll take us on to the bakery. This was potentially one of their best sites the second time around, the way they played it in terms of team play. They've lost it once, which means this is going to be the tiebreaker if they can hold this with a positive rate. They're currently 1-for-1. It's a 50-50 chance. They lose this. Now they're looking at a 66% of being able to hold this successfully. Or 66. Oh my god. What am I talking about? It could be a 66% deficit for them to be able to hold. Not very positive with the way they've been playing, and I mean, there's so much to fix. What the hell are these guys doing? Maybe that's why I said that. Top down, like always, as they look to address. And what's new, Scooby-Doo? That'll be first blood, as Bilo will find Kit quite fast. 40 seconds in, and now 1 more or 2 more roamers to address. And if you can take care of just one of them, you put yourself in a horrible situation. Nullify. Playing a game of Ring Around the Rosie. You might get caught off guard, and that's a beautiful way on how to use teamwork and drone. Beautiful from Squirts. Currently at 4 KD, looking to find his 9th. Will connect. That's a double kill for him again. Beautiful play by Squirrel. I can't even lie. That was amazing. Manages to capitalize. You have pressure from the windows. You have the pressure from the top of the red stairs, and you even have a man entering in from pillar. Nowhere for these roamers to go, and they find themselves with a 3-man advantage with a minute 45 left on the clock. Verticality now being established. Nosy forced to address, and now Sprays just granted access into the site. Walt is on in. Looks to find his next to find a flawless round for his team, but Warden seeks asylum in the depths of Bakery. Quickly taken care of, and Ram is not taking this any more seriously than she was in the first. Same level of competition. No, I don't even know how to say this. It hasn't changed. Their competition levels haven't changed. It's been the steady pace of we're going to do top downs and then prioritize executing in the later stages of the round. And that was beautiful. Just look at how they managed to play out. Squirt walks in from pillar. Quick, easy 3 bullets through the barricade. Takes the head off of the Wamai. Walks in and takes care of the Mozzie in reading quite fast. That's a team that deserves to win. They currently stand with 4-2 on the board. And they're finding picks where they can every single round. You've showed us what you had in store for your defensive. Now, what does it look like on the attack? Because if it's 5% better what you were showing us on attack redemption, this will be a walk in the park to take care of business. As it stands, you're up 2 rounds, and you are reading every play from 619. Only 1 out of the 6 rounds they played on defense did they find that first pick, and that is a horrible stat line to have. A 0.1. Wow, that is crazy. Bobby to fall to a frost mat, and come on, that is just common sense. You live to see another day, but you'll be immobilized until that 1-minute marker. Now, Chris, if he wasn't there, you would have found Bobby taken care of, but he's currently 1-6, and let's see how effective he'll be with the G8. Looking to capitalize. Wooden Pillar saves the Jaeger's life, but not the second time around. Lightning will help you. Luck, not a factor needed, as now Chris uses that G8 and makes it a demon. Will find 2 kills in a matter of 20 seconds and is continuing to grow the lead for his team. 2 bodies now in the favor of 619, and just damage dealt for redemption. Bobby waiting for a flank. It just doesn't exist. Valkyrie's not going to continue and play from below. Rotating into the gaps that need to be filled. They're staying liquid. Reference, if you know, you know. Scat now left by himself to deal with all of the pressure coming in from Cigar. Kitjitsu finding 1 and 2, and now he looks to grow his lead. 1 more kill to make yourself 10-5. A Scat runs around like a headless chicken. Will fall to the M45 quite fast. Response from 619 that I didn't know was possible puts them in a 1-round deficit now as they continue and climb out of the rabbit hole they've dug themselves into. Kitchen yet again, and now this is going to be the first time we've seen Redemption hold it. The question is it going to be better than 619? They've won it once. You only need to win it twice, and by the time you'll be on the match point. Unless you want to go to OT, of course. But again, it's all about playing like a team, and currently Redemption's the team that is an obvious choice for us. Yes, granted, we are in a one-round deficit. It's not a one-sided affair, but once you break down each and every round, one of those rounds for 619 shouldn't have been won. It was from the pure clumsiness from Redemption on the first that led to their victory. But as it stands, Redemption's the one doing top-down clearances, using all of their utility, and making sure everything is done before they continue to swing. And even then, you'll have that one man who won't listen to the traditional hold. A Squirt will swing anything and everything that moves. Hilo on the roam alongside with Squirt. The question is, who is going to break the deadlock? It currently stands at a 5v5, and the roam hasn't been working for you so far. Previously deleted by the GA, and the question is now, can you change that narrative? Surya Gate seen for the first time in forever, it feels. I don't see much Aruni play unless it's PC. Let's see how it'll be played out. No Castle this time around. Squirt continuing to play Ringer on the Rosie until he finds a first. But every single attacker's on the first floor, and one of them has even walked in throughout VIP with the assistance and the company from Dokkaebi to watch out that whiskey. They are one pixel away from seeing each other on these stairs. Surprisingly, no deployable shield on the freezer feed holes, and no freezer feed holes at all. Breach soon to be opened up as Ash now destroys that mute jammer, or at least I thought she would have missed, and now you'll need to find it through the verticality. Squirt heard directly. I mean, you heard the phone call go off. Why would you swing into it, as now he has found the lead for his team with 1:10 left on the clock. He, even if he falls right now, is continuing to waste the time and make these attackers doubt on what they want to do and their ability. Bilo goes down, though. Might meet his maker, but that quick Batman drop from Squirt changes that narrative. No res possible, and only bait, as now he tells him, leave me. And they'll be up 2 bodies, but one of them is downed, finished, and the other is now downed. Who can find him in the coat? Check without getting shot trying to cross. Squirt. Lethal player, 2 kills now in his hands as the 3rd death mark is used to find him. I mean, it's Vigil. He can just use his ability, but Squirt's gonna bait in the Deimos and then use his ability. Yet Sprays looks like he is going to bleed out. There's nobody watching the cross. Take the risk right here and right now as you put yourself in a horrible position. Yeah, Sprays is gone and dusted. 3v3 is going to put things at level. Now, attackers forced to get somewhat aggressive here. No droning allowed, and it's genuinely common sense in Siege. Once you bait for too long, it becomes a problem. Chris gets a kill lined up for him, but it'll be Squirt to find 3. The plank goes down, and Glad finds himself in a 1v3. You've just missed him. You're playing Ring Around the Rosie. You both apparently need glasses, as that becomes a problem, and that might have been one of the worst Ring Around the Roses I've ever seen. K1 and K2 become the spin block for either side. And wow, you had a split second where that round was isolated into 2 1v1s and your ACOG blocked the site. 4-4 leaves it at level. Squirt's roam now going into the trash can, as now we are continuing throughout the series, but now with no deficit for either side. A fresh slate for 619 and many mistakes for Redemption to address. Lots to be addressed right here and right now. And the only team that seems to be up for the task, they've built upon their mistakes, is the one and only 619. Yesterday, everything was going in their favor. as they were the ones to manage and capitalize upon every mistake. But now, granted hardship, in the face of hardship as well, they've managed to capitalize on every single mistake that Redemption has made. And now, this may be the turning point of the night. Legion shotgun has been whipped out. Surprisingly, I haven't seen it. I was gonna just say that, but first blood finally goes in the favor of 619, and it feels refreshing to be able to say that as they now look to advance. Boots on the ground, Dokkaebi now looking to address red stairs, and Squirt on the roam, looking to go wild. C4 from below can be lethal enough. The BP makes matters worse. Look to just advance, and they are a freight train that just can't be stopped. The question is, are you going to find the pick before you get blown up? That calm gives you an easy kill verticality-wise, but just no bueno. Chris giving himself up very easily. Gold, Squirt, refrag the verticality, and one directly through the ticket wall. It becomes a problem when you can't see through that bar side. Ring around the rosy between Nullify and the Frost. The question is, who wins the gunfight? A continuous game of guess who, where am I? As a Frostnut will claim the life of Nullify, leaving Kijitsu all by himself. A 619 throw away a very potential round that had so much excitement for them, because if they had won it, they'd find that lead for the first time since the first round. You know where the Frost is. You know where the man sitting in bathroom is. What is up with this hallway and people aiming at the ground after the first two bullets? That's the second time we've seen it today. And that will be the deadlock broken, as now Redemption have seemed to have woken up from their slumber since their mistakes on that first floor. Now taking us to the point where we are one round shy from that match point. Now, the ladies and gentlemen, the question is, I don't even know. I think casting like every day, multiple times, catches up to you. Time after time, day after day. Maybe it's time for me to take a break. I don't know. A little bit of a Sino refresh, because I don't know. I'm currently just getting trolled. Trolling myself at this point. Hold on, okay. Let me give you guys some proper quality for these last couple of rounds. I feel bad. I was on fire earlier today, but I mean, that's kind of what happens when you don't go to sleep. No external play, yet again, a very different perspective from 619. They're not even going for that top down, at least not yet. Looking to get lucky due to the fact that Redemption have left the left side of the freezer wall soft. No feed holes. Maybe it wasn't even intentional, but the fact of the matter is, it will be opened regardless, and you're going to continue to isolate a gunfight where you don't even know where you're being located from. Things continue to spot out this Goyo, while Chris looks to get lucky and tries to thread that needle from a distance. A minute burned off the clock, and now we're finding multiple roamers. Squirt was the one to terrorize 619 when he was on attack. The question is he going to be able to read the attacker's play? He was previously able to capitalize pick after pick, but now his teammate falls and he's forced to reset until he can force a mistake. Kit wraps around the stairs, looks to get aggressive here, but he's going to be long gone by the time he realizes there's somebody right below him. Angles being held. It's all about the matter of time here. The question is the clock going to take care of you, or are you going to use it to be able to push towards the site? 619, we found them in multiple scenarios where they find themselves running out of time. 90 seconds taken care of, and now the question is, can they get the plant down? Because Redemption haven't been able to get a single plant down, which is kind of crazy. I don't think we've seen a single plant, and a double kill would have been in our hands here if you just took that chance, Scat. But now you've managed to reinforce this breach. I don't know how, I don't know when, but you've managed. 50 seconds left. The clock continues to tick down, and by the time we get to that 50-second marker, you guys are going to see the same exact thing. They take their sweet old time, and there's not a single thing they're going to do about it. Buck now getting verticality. I mean, just bring a ram and save yourselves the time. You've wasted so much of this crucial time. C4 wasted out here, but a man sitting close with a shotgun gonna try and get lucky. Mute getting shot out. They can see a corner of his arm. But now Ace going to be the first boot on the ground, and another whiff. That's like the fourth one today. Two bodies looking to address from small vacant coat as the bodies drop, and it now opens up a clinic to show us what will be left of this execute. A 2v4 will be just that, and now Squirt needs to lose the damage to be able to make this play, and not a single person is aware of what he's trying to do. Nobody's watching Whiskey. That plant's gonna go down, Squirt, and you've essentially just done a full 360 of that area. But a pre-fire gives you a double. Two more bodies left to address, and you've now become the attacker. So much left to do, and the question is, can you address it? As now Bobby runs upstairs, tries to continue and waste the time. Those two flashes used very effectively, as Squirt is now left in a horrible spot, but now they've messed up. What are you guys doing? An easy kill, an easy breach. He might be able to just stick it here. They're forced to just run down, and it's a time where Squirt might have the siege devs in his hands, but Buck's shotgun is enough to do the damage. Very smart adaptation. If he was to use those bullets from his fully automatic, that round would have been a very different outcome, as a very, very slim round shows us 5-5. A little bit of back and forth now. Both teams looking rejuvenated. They're waking up. They're playing together. And this is exactly what I like to see. Regardless, whoever wins this round will advance on to the match point. Finally, that mid-floor will be able to be used up. We haven't seen any of that play, which is one of the bigger things that I see in the comparisons between PC and console leagues. PC teams jump at the opportunity to defend the mid-floor first and then move on to the upstairs site. It's the complete opposite on console, and I'll never understand why, because essentially it's the same metas. The only thing that's very different is the aim and the mechanical ability. Just raises the question on what's going on here. Squirt currently sitting at a 3 KD. Obviously the man of the match for the day is Kit. Doesn't fall shortly behind, but Kit has been that very conservative player that's been getting the job done both on the utility and the frag perspective. Squirt is just a swing type of person. Shady looking to address the site first. It bursts into action as the two attackers just find themselves in the depths of sight, both wielding the R4C. Squirt finds one. Fenrir dealing the damage. Theo to reel it back in. Bobby building up, taking care of Squirt, but below onto Chris. It bursts on the other side of the map. Bobby for two. Goal taken care of. Kid affected by the F-knock. Kid now loose. A minute taken care off the clock, and Bobby looks to find his next below 1 HP and is forced to play close with a bailiff that he needs to trust fully. Sprays, you are now your teammates' only chance of hope, of salvation, as you're the one with full HP and a C4. Utilizes, shot out the sky. Is that Bolo? As now a 1v3, make it a 2, as Nullify finds his second. Kit, soon to be retrieved. The Sprays plays a continuous game of Ring Around the Rosie, trying to address this continuous aggression from 619. They decided to shake things up, and it worked out. Now get aggressive, get active will be the motive, as they're now put in a perfect spot. They're both pulled up. They didn't separate the areas, but you aimed too low, and that's the 7th time I've seen that from a team. Finally, we say the words. We're moving on to match point, as 619, with the curveball from hell, managed to put them ahead. Beautifully played out here. Nullify with that R4C capitalized on his teammates' boogie drone. They just waltzed in and they made magic happen. 619. They've been falling short in the midst of the game, but now they started off strong and now it looks like they're going to finish it. Leaving us, ladies and gentlemen, with the narrative that Redemption needs to play a game of catch-up to force this into overtime. 619. They found their footing. That mojo, they're not looking to lose that advantage they gave themselves yesterday in the Champions League. They forced a team to disband. And Jesus, what a way to address your current game. Legion shotgun from below yet again might be able to address the consistent external play we've been seeing today. Although it's been coming from Redemption mostly outside of the windows, they're going to bring the contingency plan just in case. That'll be the first Rotero charge used effectively as that Rotero takes care of the shield beautifully. No need for second thoughts. Now they're taking care of the Valkyrie cameras as well. Not a single roamer below. Squirt will seek refuge on the white stairs. 16 kills next to his name. Might be able to approach that 20 mark. Maybe this round. Maybe if we go to OC. But the ideal situation is to end it right here, right now, while Squirt's on 16 kills. Don't allow him to find that 20 mark this round or the next. 619. You have one task, and it's to win. The question is, are you up for that task? Below plays very aggressively here on Bolo. Now, rotated CS. This shotgun will do the job at distance. As he continues to play aggressive, might fall to verticality here. A very smart switch, as you would have been absolutely cooked. First blood, it'll be Squirt. Who else? Takes care of Kit, and now that'll be first blood in the favor of Redemption. Looking to build off of that. Sprays, though. Left on a death mark as he looks to try and address the verticality. Hated Chris finds one on his scat, and it's left at level. 50 seconds left. Below takes care of Shady. Now, that's Redemption's round. It's right here, right now for you. C4 makes matters better for your team as you're in a 4v2 situation. It's Chris no longer, and one man by the name of Nullify, cases in hand, and he is assigned the task to find 4 consistent bodies. He'll take care of the first. Sprays is low. It makes it a little bit easier, but now you still are against the clock. Half of a minute is left, and you have no traction into the site. You even blundered. A castle who wasn't even looking at you. A very easy kill, and you messed it up. Overtime, name of the game, as this is going to be definitely a much better game. Shout out Brian. But he told me in advance that this was going to be the better game, and I didn't listen. Cocktail and lounge. Ladies and gentlemen, we're still in the groups. That means, regardless of what happens, there's no infinite overtime. This game can only end out in either an 8-6 fashion or an 8-7 fashion. Only 15 rounds is the maximum amount for this game, and we currently stand at the 12th. 13th is the current. external play soon to be addressed here as they look to take their time, go one by one to try and make magic happen. 619 still on the attack. They'll be ending off the game on the attack. How are you going to address this? So much is left. Below, not on the Legion Shotgun anymore, but you still have Squirt with 17 and that SMG-12 in his arsenal. An absolute weapon. You have yet to address this game, allowing him to run wild. Kit hasn't been active for the last couple of rounds. The question is, can he change that? The Terror Chargers not being granted any access into the building as they consistently continue to get shot at, leaving Flores with his one and last as it will detonate, hopefully. Takes care of one measly frost mat, leaving these volcans intact. Scat holding the long angle all the way deep from the bathroom. Can you capitalize? Bilo sitting close, waiting to capitalize, and now will seek refuge in the corners of Cigar while he continues to make his presence known. It's all about that timely fashion. Right now, the attackers are being starved out because there's below 90 seconds, and you've yet to find one man to get aggressive or try to find that first opening. All about that first impression. Nobody's in CS. You've been granted that little nugget of a gift. One man sitting in CS. Surely you've had to have droned him. Sprays playing a little bit aggressive here. You're at 30 health, maybe even more. 45 if we're being graceful, but you put yourself in a horrible situation. Shady, you didn't see his arm, and he will run. He's safe. All about focusing on those little details. Could have been a kill there for Shady, but just doesn't see the arm. I don't blame him. I can see the outline. He can't. 45 seconds remain. All 10 bodies are up. You realize that C4 was beeping too late, and you've yet to capitalize. Below finds the other, and now Chris falls. Nullify for another, leaving this at a 4v3. That's plenty of bodies. 7 bodies left with 30 seconds left on the clock. Am I dreaming? As now, both sides, one just needs to run the clock, and the other needs to either get that plant down or claim those 4 lives that are remaining. So much left to do, and the question is, are you up for that task? Below sitting close. He has a C4 and a shotgun as well, and Squirt is on the board, hungry to achieve more as now they continue to build up that passion. Below for 1, 2, and 3. What just happened? As now the one man looking to walk in through Shaika will be shut out by Squirt as he's 1 kill away from 20 kill Empire Heaven, and Below with the heroics to put his team up at the match point. 10 kills. He was behind. He was 1 and 6 at one point. The potential last round. 14 in, and that was very one-sided. It's been a consistent game of back and forth. These one-sided affairs have only been going through in the rounds. We haven't seen a one-sided game as both teams find a response for each other round in and round out. 619, you need this opportunity to capitalize. Yes, granted, you have subs. You're not seeing the same roster that we saw yesterday in the Champions League. You're not seeing message. You're not seeing some very important players, but that doesn't give you the right to be able to fall short. Y'all got to lock in, build off of it, and try to force this to that 15 round. You've already put in the effort. You've already came back from that beautiful halftime where you were down 2 rounds. You just need 2 to be able to cinch it. Sprays. This man just loves his ability to play on the outside of the map. He has played outside and has found 4 kills on windows. Nullify takes care of business, will get first blood here and is taking care of what is needed to be done. Quickly reeled back in, Sprays and Gold take care of Null and Bobby, and now that leaves it at a 4v3. Way faster. At this point in time, we had 7 bodies with 30 seconds left in the last round. This time, it's 7 bodies with 2 minutes. Plenty of time now for these attackers to be able to capitalize, and it takes so much more to be able to say, oh my god, there's no way he just died to a frost mat. Are you fucking serious? Oh, I just swore. Frostmed in the middle of the room. And gold is Helen Keller at this point as he just waltzes right on in. 9 and 8, though. Can't fault him too much. Luckily, he didn't do that later in the round as he would have been affected for the remainder of it. But he will be mobile again in 40 seconds, but it doesn't matter. 19 kills was how Squirt started this, and now 21 is going to be the way he'll finish it unless he can find 22. Really looking to run the clock out. 90 seconds left on the clock and full access to the site, but Shady has now been given the case. In a consistent game of play, Ring Around the Rosie on the breach, as you have 100 HP. Oh, Shady, can you do it? Do you hear the lights calling? You'll find the third! A minute 10, and you're left against Sprays. You've taken care of Mr. Killing Machine himself, Squirt. It's a 1v1. You have enough health to be able to capitalize, but a minute is left on the clock and that plant is going to go down. You have now become the attacker. You've taken the damage. You've done what is needed to be done. And it'll be a consistent game of who will be able to run out the clock. Sprays looking to get aggressive and barely cinches it for his team. That'll feel bad for you. That could have been the greatest we've seen in a minute, but it'll be ended out in overtime. Regulation no longer something that was realistic for 619. They managed to take the OT surprisingly, but 8-6 is going to be the game. And GG's to Squirt. Mr. MVP himself lands 21 kills to push Redemption to an 8-6 victory. What a game. What a game. Yes, I took off my sweater. I'm fucking boiling. I don't even know where to start. That game was amazing. It was played up by both teams and executed to a T. They stood up to the occasion, and that's exactly what you want in a league game. Regardless if it's groups or not, I'm excited to see if these teams meet up again in the playoffs. We're going to see a beautiful game if we go to that best of 3 situation. They'll be forced to go 3 maps, 1 for themselves, 1 on their opponent's turf, and that third obvious decider. Going to be a beautiful matchup. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really apologize if I had some spotty times today. It's been a very long day, but as always, I've been Sino. I've been doing everything behind the scenes. I hope you enjoyed. We will be live again at 4:30 EST in the morning to be able to finish out the OCE APAC event. So much to be done in there, and I will be giving away 4 codes. So if you haven't already registered, make sure to be following here. Use !ticket to enter that giveaway, and I'll be calling the names at 9 a.m. giveaway tomorrow. Give or take. But I hope you guys did enjoy. I'll see you guys in the morning for those of you who want some credits and want to watch some tier 2 gameplay. Have a great rest of your night. And again, peace.